This is what I consider to be one of the more fun videos to make, and it's all the different kinds of napkin folds. Now, there are dozens of napkin folds you can do, and every club is different and unique and bases things on, the ambiance of the dining room, the height of the ceilings, and all kinds of other factors. I'm going to go through and show you some common napkin folds that I've used, probably about 10 of them, but I hope these give you some additional ideas if you don't already know them, all right? So the first one is a very simple, what we call just a square napkin fold, just a traditional napkin fold. And most of the folds that we do always start with the seam or the hem facing up. So in this case, we're gonna start by folding over each end to about the halfway point, all right? And then to cover up the seams, we're going to fold it again, additionally, all right? Making sure it's nice and neat. Now what we do is we fold the top half down a little more than halfway, and we're just basically making a square. We're gonna fold the bottom up, do the same thing, and then the final step is to flip it over. There you have a nice classic neat napkin. Nothing major, just a basic napkin fold to get started, all right? Next napkin fold we're going to look at is called the French 3-point, and it's a classic French fold. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by folding at a diagonal, all right? Then we turn it this way. We have, our 3 points. We're going to take this right point over here and fold it over till it's about an inch or two below. And then the final corner, we're gonna fold that over. And then when we rotate it, a classic fold, but a 3-point French fold, okay? The next fold's pretty basic. Again, we start with the, square napkin. We're gonna fold it to a diamond again. Or to a triangle. All right, the next thing you do for the tent fold, or the pyramid fold as it's called, is to bring these corners up to the top. All right, from there we can flip the napkin over and we fold the bottom up. We take that piece and we fold that in half. And what we have, once you stand it up, is a nice pyramid or tent. You're able to stuff silverware into the sides if you need to, but it's a classic fold, not very hard. I see it commonly used still at a lot of clubs. All right, the next one is for bread. And this one is, we're gonna essentially create a nice pocket for the bread rolls to sit in. Some people just lay the cloth napkin in the basket, but by the time the bread gets to a table, it's gone cold. So what we want to do is we're going to create a little pocket, and it's just very simple. We're going to take the bottom edge, we're going to fold it about an inch up, and we're going to fold it a little bit above the halfway point. All right, and then we're going to take the top edge, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it about an inch down, and then we're going to cover it, the center point, just a little bit, all right? When we flip it, we're going to create a little envelope. We're going to fold the sides into the middle, and then you can adjust how wide you want or how wide your bread baskets are. But when we flip it back over, the nice thing is we can stack these higher and higher. But the nice thing is that we've created a little pocket for the bread. And then when we open it up and when we use it, we can insert the bread rolls in there or whatever, hors d'oeuvres, crostinis, whatever you're using, and we get a nice pocket that sits in the bread basket. Okay, the next one is what we call the Birds of Paradise. And it's essentially, we're going to start off by folding the bottom up to the top, fold a side over so we have a square. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. Then we're going to have the open edges or the open flaps kind of at the top. Now what we do is we take kind of our finger at the top point, and we're going to fold the sides down until we get them both in the middle like this. So it should kind of look like an airplane, like a jet. We're gonna take these flaps and we're gonna fold them underneath. And then we're gonna fold that in half again. Now what I like to do here is clamp the open ends kind of tight. What you have left is all the flaps. So what you do is when you hold it tight and you pull these up individually, you should have 4 flaps that come up. And if you've ever seen the Birds of Paradise plant, you know that when you set it down, you're gonna have a nice looking Birds of Paradise napkin fold. Now you can set these at angles, however you want to set them on the table, but it's just a nice look. Gives the table a little elevation. All right, the next napkin fold's pretty easy. Some people call it the seashell, some people call it the accordion, or the fan fold. But what you do is you essentially fold the napkin in half, and then you're gonna do that accordion motion. And I start at one end, and you just kind of go over an inch or two, and then under, and then over, under, over, under, over. And I wanna leave a little bit of napkin left. What I like to do then is just fold it over. All right, so you got this long edge here. So I fold the napkin in half. And now you're left with this, all right? Now to take that open flap edge right there, I'm gonna tuck it in. I'm gonna fold it down to like a triangle angle. And I'm gonna tuck it in there. So when you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Now these are great to stack up. You can pre-fold a lot of these and put them in something like a coffee cup rack. You can stack up probably 50 of them at least into a coffee rack. But the nice thing is that once these are all folded, when you're ready to put them on the table, all you do is set it and just let it drop, and then you have a nice fan fold. Okay, the last couple are a little more complicated. That's why I saved them for last. The next one's going to be called either the lily pad or the artichoke fold. And the easiest way to remember this is corners, corners, flip, corners. And I'll show you what I mean. You're going to take all the corners and you're going to bring them to the middle. So this is the corners. Try to get it the best you can. All right, and then corners. So we said corners, corners, flip, corners. We've done one corner, so we're going to do the corners again. Now in our corners, corners, flips, corners, the next step is the flip. So I'm going to kind of hold the middle and I'll flip it. Corners, corners, flip, corners. I'm going to bring the corners up one more time. And then at this point, what you do is you go underneath each corner and you pull out the remaining flap. And what you do is you have a nice little lily pad that forms, or an artichoke that forms. And this is great to, excuse my watch. This is great to use if you have like water pitchers, or if you have some sauces or condiments or something that you're putting on the table. A nice display is to use these for kind of display items. So it's a nice presentation piece. A little more complicated, but that's the artichoke or the lily pad. And the final one is great for tables that have a little elevation to them. If you have a little height in the room, maybe high ceilings, you want to give the table a little more elevation. It's called the candle. So what you do is you take the bottom, you're going to essentially make a triangle again, and you're going to fold this bottom edge up about an inch. And then what I do is I flip that over, and I'm just going to roll. I'm going to roll this up, and you'll start to see that there's a little kind of notch that starts to form. And I just want to keep it, because it's got to stand, so it's got to be flat. Just kind of keep that uniform. It doesn't take long. You just roll it up. All right, and then you'll start to see we have our candle. What you do with this last little flap is you tuck it in to that ridge that we created. And you can stand it up, and you have a nice candlestick table centerpiece. So there's lots of other different folds you can do. These were just some basics, and I hope they were helpful for you.